Ukrainian military expert says that Germany may transfer 100 Taurus missiles to Ukraine in 2 batches of 50. Due to the leaked conversation of the head of the German Air Force, we know that Germany could supply Ukraine with a maximum of 100 Taurus missiles in 2 batches of 50. These are realistic numbers, as Germany has between 150 and 250 in combat-ready condition and around 500 in total. So even if they give Ukraine 100 missiles, that's a significant number. And a large number of Russian targets hit, Katkov emphasized on Espresso TV. According to the expert, while supplying Taurus to Ukraine won't bring instant victory, it's a crucial step to boost Ukraine's defense capabilities. Taurus has always been a political issue, and now these cruise missiles have become symbolic. Those red lines from Russia, that transferring Storm Shadow or ATACMS to Ukraine would mean France, the UK or the US entering the war, are no longer mentioned. And as soon as Taurus hits Russian forces, and we hope Merz, presumably the new head of the German government, approves it, the invaders will instantly forget what they once threatened, Katkov added. Russia has expressed concern over reports suggesting that Germany may supply Taurus missiles to Kiev. Russia warned it would interpret the use of these missiles to strike Russian territory as Germany's direct involvement in hostilities on Ukraine's side, said Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova during a briefing. Zakharova stated that Russia would consider any Taurus missile strike on Russian targets as German participation in the war on Ukraine's side, with all corresponding consequences for Germany. Her remarks came in response to comments by Germany's future Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who mentioned the illegally constructed Crimean Bridge as a potential target for the Taurus missiles. The Taurus missile, with its sophisticated design and precision, could reshape Ukraine's battlefield strategy. But the move also raises questions about Russia's response, European unity, and the sustainability of such high-tech arms transfers. The Taurus's ability to fly at low altitudes and evade detection gives it a unique edge, particularly against heavily defended targets. Its Swedish-German design also reflects a focus on precision and survivability, drawing on decades of European expertise in missile technology. Ukraine's potential acquisition of Taurus missiles would significantly enhance its ability to conduct deep strike operations, a capability that has become increasingly critical as Russian forces entrench in occupied territories. Ukraine's northern border is vastly different from the Donbas steppe, with more places to hide and more defensive positions. But Russia's grueling warfare has changed little, the Times reports. On the border with Sumy Oblast, dozens of occupiers are using quad bikes to seize at least some territory. Therefore, the task of the 4th Regiment of Ukrainian Rangers is to get ahead of the attack and stop it. The publication recalled that the Special Forces Regiment Rangers was created in March last year to carry out reconnaissance and assault missions. However, as the regiment commander with the call sign Bakcha says, in the last few weeks, their role has been more reminiscent of fire extinguishers. They are testing our line of defense, conducting daily raids on villages, trying to find weak spots, said the colonel, who has been fighting against Russia since 2014. The Times explained that Bakcha, translated from Ukrainian, means a garden for growing watermelons. As the publication writes, ceasefire talks may continue, but the Kremlin's desire for peace is not reflected in its military operations. In particular, Russia is now launching its offensive on several fronts at once. Most likely, Sumy is one of the main targets of the Russian Federation during this offensive. It is noted that the fields around the city are surrounded by dragon's teeth concrete anti-tank obstacles and are cut by networks of trenches. The Russians are trying to create a buffer zone. They will try to advance as far as they can, but they do not have the resources to try to reach Sumy, a source in the Ukrainian Defense Ministry told the publication. In return, Ukraine is conducting its own raids in the Kursk region and continues to occupy a small territory of the Russian Federation in order to prevent the enemy from accumulating its forces for an offensive. In particular, the Bakhchi regiment uses reconnaissance drones to identify supply chains that feed frontline forces so that they can be destroyed by American HIMARS artillery systems. As always, the Ukrainians are outnumbered. Among the Russian troops deployed to advance on Sumy are 2 brigades of supposedly elite forces. The 155th Marine Brigade, which had previously served in the Donbass, and the 810th Marine Brigade, which had served in Robotno in the Zaporizhia region, the Times added. At the same time, according to Bakhchi, their arrival had little impact, stressing that elite Russian units ceased to play an important role after May 2022 due to high casualties and a lack of training among the reinforcements. The military man says that the Russian Federation has another elite brigade that the Ukrainians are fighting against, namely the 76th Airborne Brigade. However, Bakhchi noted that these troops are poorly trained and equipped. Last week, Bakhchi fighters stopped a raid on quad bikes by 12 soldiers of the 76th with the help of drone and artillery. The sole survivor who was captured signed a contract while serving a prison sentence in Saratov in southern Russia just 2 weeks ago. Due to a shortage of night vision equipment, the Russians mostly carried out these raids during the day. Every day along the line defended by the Bakhchi regiment, the Russians lose about a dozen men. The Times concluded.
Mourners buried 11-year-old Maxim Martynenko and his parents Natalia and Mykola on Wednesday, 3 days after a Russian ballistic missile attack tore through central Sumy city, killing at least 35 and wounding over 100. According to Associated Press gathering at a church in the center of the city, the 3 caskets were opened for relatives and friends to say their final farewells, before their bodies were taken to the family's village where all 3 were buried together. "I can't believe that one family, just like that, one day, just went away, just like that," said Daria Doroshenko, Maxim's teacher. Pastor Artem Tavmazhin, a friend of the family, added, "For our city, this is a huge tragedy. It's not just a loss, it's a real tragedy, because for every family, personally, the loss of a father, mother, or child is a tragedy." The funerals of the Martynenko family came 3 days after Russia targeted Sumy's center in back-to-back missile strikes, killing 35 people and injuring more than 100 others in the deadliest attack on Ukrainian civilians this year. Sumy is only about 30 kilometers from the border of Russia's Kursk region, where Ukrainian soldiers are defending the last sliver of territory they took in a surprise offensive last summer. Residents say there has been an uptick in attacks on Sumy in recent weeks, though none as bloody as Sunday's airstrike, which targeted a busy intersection. The attack in Sumy, which had a pre-war population of about 250,000, came just over a week after a Russian missile strike killed about 20 people, including 9 children, in the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi Rih. Russia said it was targeting a meeting of soldiers, but there is no evidence to support the claim. The attacks on their cities has left many Ukrainians wondering where the next will occur and cast a shadow over the ongoing ceasefire talks being brokered by the United States.